Lord, take me where you want me to go. Let me meet who you want me to meet. Tell me what you want me to say, and please keep me out of your way. Amen. Please be seated. This is another one of those Sundays where the sermon that was all prepared went out the window. So I decided I would come and I would be down here with you guys. And I do have a gospel lesson to share with you. And it may be a little convoluted, but we will get there. We will work our way to it, I promise you. But first, I want to speak to something that I am sensing. I am sensing a lot of anxiety. It's not necessarily verbalized as that. I'm sensing my own anxiety, and I'm sensing y'all's anxiety, and I'm sensing anxiety out there in the world in general. It's palpable. Our political discourse is like no other time ever. People are saying and doing things that, quite frankly, just are poor manners and worse. Saying things that hurt people and in ways that I cannot imagine. The natural disasters seem to be coming one after another recently. Puerto Rico, I just don't even have words. I was just talking to William back there. More than half of the island, 2 months later, still doesn't have electricity. How is this possible in an American territory? And then Sunday, during the middle of a worship service like this, a madman walks in with an automatic weapon that allows him to kill 26 people, many of them children, and injure 20 more in a matter of 4 minutes. And there are just no words for that. All of this is stuff we all know. We are all aware of this thanks to the internet, thanks to cable 24 hours a day news, thanks to our papers. We're all aware of this. This feeds into all of our anxieties. And I get that. I feel it too. I don't even want to look at my phone with the messages in the morning when I wake up for fear of what new horror has happened in the last few months. It's terrible. But I do know that you are here for a reason. That even with all of that happening in the world right now, you're here because you have a sense of something else, an eternal something else. That these times are but just temporary. And when you look at the great arc of all of our lives, and when I'm talking about that, I'm not talking about just our human lives. I'm talking about our spiritual lives. When you look at that great arc, this is but a blip. And you, somewhere in your DNA, you know that. And here at Christ Church, this is like that warm campfire that you come to from the cold to get a little closer, to warm yourself, to find companionship, and to learn more about God. And in these times, this campfire, this church is more important than ever. Finding this community and being together and coming in and naming our anxieties and saying, this is not of God. And saying, I am going to turn away from this stuff and I am going to focus on God. That is what you're doing right now, whether you realize it or not. You came here, you were drawn here. Perhaps you came here to bring your children closer to the warmth of the fire, to give them a sense of the eternal. Perhaps you came because you too are feeling so much anxiety that it's hard to look at the news. Now, in our gospel, and here's where this segue comes, this lesson is about bridesmaids being prepared. And I've spoken about weddings before. Jesus often went to weddings and talked about weddings, and this parable is a good example. But there's no bride in this story. There's the groom, and Jesus is the groom. And the bridesmaids, all 10 of them, well, they're us, folks, those bridesmaids. And they were to light the way for the groom to go get his bride and take her back to his house for the feast. And 5 were prepared, and 5 were not. They all slept. They all had lamps, but 5 did not have enough oil. Being prepared for Jesus. That's what we're here about at Christ Church. We come here, we bring our anxieties, we bring our pain, we bring all of the fears of the world here, and we lay them at the feet of Jesus. And we ask him to prepare us, get us ready for him. Let us serve him in whatever way God is calling each and every one of you to serve him. Not just me, not just members of the vestry or the chalicer or the acolytes. Every single one of us is being called to serve God and each other. That is the great commandment that Jesus gave us. And so I believe that all of you were working really hard to be one of those 5 bridesmaids that were wise and that were prepared. And in this world, we need you. We need you prepared. We need you going out there helping the others with their anxiety and inviting them to this campfire to get warm. And to that end, I'm even going to mention how important our gatherings are, like our Thanksgiving Day supper. Never has it been more important than this year, in my opinion, that we gather as a community. We lift each other up. We break bread together, and we remind each and every one of us why we're here, why God has called us together. It may just seem like a social event, but it is not. It is a family coming together to support one another and to help each other with our anxieties. So I pray that you will do that, and you will look for every opportunity together here to warm yourself so that you can go out there and do what Jesus has commanded you to do. Love your fellow man and woman. And my door is always open. I have had people come in this week with their anxieties to talk to me. It is always open, and I hope that you will take advantage of that. Amen.